Hello, my name is Dan Dawson. This is my website, KetoCannibal. Let's start with what this site is for. KetoCannibal is a diet plan and an exercise plan that I put together after losing over 60 pounds in around 150 days. So these plans represent what worked for me and what could potentially work for you. The key to how this works is knowing your macros. Underneath the tools section, there's a keto macro calculator. This will go through and specifically lay out how many net carbs, how much fat, and how much protein you should be taking in for your height, weight, age, gender, and body fat percentage. So when you put all that together, it's going to come out with the exact numbers that you need to lose weight, and that's why you should care about this site. Because getting those numbers right are critical for having sustained weight loss in a very healthy way without getting injured and without starving yourself. So that's why you should care. The great thing is this site is free. You just can go out here to ketocannibal.azurewebsites.net and you can bring this up for yourself. Now, how the diet works is covered under the diet plan. How the exercise works is covered under the exercise plan. But that's not the thing which I'm really going to harp on. There's different variations of keto. There's clean keto, there's dirty keto, there's all kinds of books on keto. You can see how I do keto under my diet plan. I'm not selling anything. You can just read it, or you can go get a book, do what you want. Exercise plans. I love kettlebells. I enjoy kettlebells. I made up my own plan and I enjoy it, and I'm going to keep using it. If you have something else you like to do, you should do that. Because whatever exercise you enjoy doing is the thing that you're going to do long term. The key, though, is getting your macros right. And that's what I have, and that's what I'm giving to you. The keto macro calculator, when you click on it, you can just basically type in your information. And I'm just going to go ahead and just type mine in. And so I'm going to go through and specify my information, and I'm going to hit calculate. The thing that's important here is this 20% deficit. I want to talk about this for a moment. This information is going to go through and it's going to be fed into an equation which is basically sponsored by or approved by the American Diabetic Association, and it's also going to go through and punch out these numbers, and we're going to take a 20% deficit off of that so that we can have the optimum amount of weight loss. Now that would be accurate whether or not you're doing keto or any other diet. Reducing your total energy expenditure amount allows your body to basically creates a calorie deficit that causes your body to use your fat. Now the reason why low carb works well is because of the fact that insulin goes up when you eat carbs, and insulin is the fat storage hormone. So by having a low carb diet with a calorie deficit from your total energy expenditure allows you to lose weight. This is all science. There's no gimmicks here. There's no diet pills. There's no stupidness. This is all hardcore math. So I click on calculate, and it goes through and it basically says that I should take in 20 grams of net carbs, and a net carb, for people who don't know, is the carbs minus fiber and sugar alcohol. It tells me the amount of fat that I need and the amount of protein. Now, this is actually kind of neat because as my body fat percentage changes because I'm lifting, what's going to happen is that number is going to change. And so whether I go up or down weight, as long as my body fat percentage is going down, I'm losing fat and I'm gaining muscle and everything is great. But in order to continue to gain muscle and not lose what you have to take in the right amount of protein. Well, the right amount of protein is 0.75 grams of protein per pound. So this is built into the equation. That's why the site cares about what your body fat percentage is. You can get your body fat percentage from a scale. You can get it from a handheld device. There's a lot of different ways to get that number. So there's some that even do estimations based on your height and your waist and hip ratios. However you get that number, my preference is the handheld devices. They seem to work best for me. But if you have a scale that does it, great. But having your body fat percentage will give you the accurate amount of protein you need to have. Doing the 5% net carbs for a keto diet will give you the right amount of net carbs, and then the remainder is fat. And instead of having to learn how to do all that math, this site does it for you. And so now you can literally plug your stuff in and everything's great. You'll have the information. I recommend doing this at least once a week. And I can log in using Facebook, or I can log in using an email account. Now, if you go through and you register an account and you plug in an email, the email is only used for two things: resetting passwords and a newsletter that I don't do yet. So, and there's even a checkbox where you can go through and say, I don't want to be on the newsletter that I'm not making yet. So don't worry so much about that. That's really just to keep your account information organized for you. You can log in using Facebook, which is what I'm going to opt to do here. And this will let me in, and it opens up a menu section called Journals. And under Journals, I can click on this and I can see these different journals. I can go through and I can log my weight. So every day I recommend that you log your weight. Now, as you go through and log your weight, you'll go through and you'll plug your stuff in, and some people, they see the ebb and flow, they see the up and down, and they get depressed, they get mad. Why did I gain today? Why did I lose tomorrow? If your scale has the body fat percentage, you can see when you're gaining muscle, when you're not gaining muscle, when you're gaining fat, and you can also kind of see how much your body changes from week to week. I'm going to click on this graph here and you can see mine. Now, what's interesting about this is there's periods where it goes up and there's periods where it goes down, and there's not really a whole lot of rhyme or reason to it. The tracking of the data isn't something that should drive you crazy. You really only want to care about your weight, the actual numbers, like once a week. So if your weigh-in day is Friday, then every Friday is when you go through and recalculate your macros and determine what your actual weight loss was for the week. Other than that, every day, first thing when you get up, use the restroom, weigh yourself, log those numbers. It's not for daily verification. If you try to get daily verification that your diet's right, you're going to get thrown off by water and waste and stress and things like that. Don't make this harder than it has to be. Just record it and only care about it on a weekly basis. Now, the cool thing is that as you lose weight, your macros will change, because the total energy expenditure that you need will be reduced because there's less of you to be sustained nutritionally. Okay, so every single time you plug in your weight and your body fat percentage, you can click on macros and it will literally go through and tell you what your numbers are supposed to be, which is cool. So that saves you from having to do the data entry of selecting all kinds of different things, or going through the actual tool every single time and having to re-plug in your numbers. You plug in your numbers once and you're good to go. You can click here to subscribe or unsubscribe, plug in your height, your deficit, your carbs, your gender, your date of birth, all that fun stuff, and you can save it. And then that's basically what helps drive this button here. The other thing which is helpful is that knowing the macros is great, but holding yourself accountable for only eating within those macros is a little harder. Some people use Carb Manager, some people use other tools on their phone like MyFitnessPal. Whatever it takes for you to track what you need to track, that's awesome. If you don't have a tracking tool or don't have a preference for a tracking tool, you can click on the food tool and it'll go through and it will give you the ability to select your day and enter in your information. So for me, I plugged in my wrecked eggs, which is eggs and sausage all jammed together. I followed up with some strawberries, had some Parmesan crisps as a snack. I made these pulled pork tacos, which is basically holy guacamole with 4 ounces of shredded pulled pork. And then I use Muscle Farm for a protein shake, and I mix it with almond milk. And then tonight I'm making a homemade hamburger, which is basically just a hamburger patty on the grill with some cheese. And that's going to round out my day. So tomorrow, if I eat this exact same meal, I can go to that day and I can click Fast Copy, and Fast Copy will literally copy this to the current day, same date, same time, same session, all of that. So I can just move that. Now if I ate those same meal but I ate it for dinner instead, I could use this copy button up here, and I could specify that I wanted to copy everything that was meal 1 to meal 3 on another day. So there's 2 different ways to do the copying, and then of course you can edit the values and you can delete the values and all of that. Now, when you get to the actual kettlebell exercise, the kettlebell exercise has 10 different exercises you can do. You alternate arms, and you go through and you do this processing. As you read through it, it'll make sense on what you need to do. And then there's the progression, and then there's the exercise. There's a video down below that'll show you how to do it. And that's all great, but keeping track of that typically takes some kind of spreadsheet. So what I did is I went through and I created basically a web form that would let you track the workout. And so I can go through here, and this is my previous workout. And if I go through and I click edit, you can see that I had checked all the boxes, and I went through and I tracked the progressions and which workout it was for that progression. And you can just track it, you can hit save, and it makes the keeping track of what progression you're on and what workout you're on much easier. There's not really any other tools out there that will do this, and so this is one that I built for you. The cardio tracking is pretty easy. You can go through and you can plug in your data. That was a test record right there, so I'm just going to delete that one. Delete that one. All right, so I'm going to create a new one. Last night at 8 o'clock. It was last night, so do 24. Walking, 60 minutes. And it was 2.8 miles. Yep. All right. So go ahead and hit save, and then that is saved. And so then basically this gives me a grid. As I add stuff, it'll show those records. So you can come out here and you can hold yourself accountable for how much cardio you're getting in a given week. Tools here for your usage. I hope you use it. I hope it helps you lose weight. I hope it helps you become the person you want to be. That being said, there are some slight disclaimers that you need to know. And they're covered in the About Me. I'm a computer programmer. I am not a nutritionist. I am not a doctor. I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. What makes me qualified to put this out here is that I've gone through and done this myself and it's worked. And I've gone through and I've had my blood checked, and my type 2 diabetes went away. I'm down 60 pounds. My lifts have gone up. I feel great. I look better. Everything about this has worked for me. It doesn't work for everybody. Keto is hard. It's simple to do, but it's hard to maintain because there's a lot of little gotchas. If you drink too much artificial sugar, if you take in too much sugar alcohol, it's a very disciplined way to live, but if you can do it, you will reach your goal weight and you will be healthy the rest of your life. That's my belief as someone who has experienced it. Your mileage may vary, okay? And so what I'm motivated to share this with you because I want you to have the same kind of results that I have. I don't sell equipment, I don't sell supplements, I don't sell food. You don't have to pay for this. You can use it if you want. It's out here. This is basically something I did for me, and if you enjoy it and it helps you out, that's awesome. But understand, you are responsible for your own choices. Use it, enjoy it. Don't use it, that's fine. Privacy policy. I'm not really collecting any information. I'm not really sharing any information. I have no need to do any of that. Web analytic tools. I would like to know how many people are hitting my site. That's kind of built into the Microsoft Azure cloud system that I can see that how many people hit the site, how often. That's pretty much all I really care about. I'm not going to sell your data. I got no one to sell it to. That's not really my thing. This isn't a money-making scheme. This is basically a tool I built for me, and hopefully it helps other people. Terms of service. Basically, this is my stuff. Please don't steal it. And if you're going to sue me, we're going to do it in Nebraska because that's where I live. And I don't want to have to go out of state to fight something that I shouldn't have to because this is my site. And as part of the terms of service, you don't like it, don't use it. That's cool. So anyhow, that is a basic rundown of the site and its features. The tool here is pretty configurable. If you find out you need 7% or 8% or 9% carbs to be happy and to live your life the way you want, you can just tune that, get your macros. That is the thing that makes this work, is that if you are within your macros, you will lose weight. So tune your macros to exactly what you need and go from there, and you will get weight loss. So that's a quick rundown of the plan. I'm going to try to edit this a little bit to make it not suck, and I hope you enjoy the website. Thank you.